In German grammar, the accusative is usually the second case you learn. To understand when to use it, you just need to look for two things. Let's start with a sentence that only has one person or thing. Das Kind ist glücklich. The child is happy. Here, das Kind is our subject doing the action, so it sits in the baseline state, the nominative case. Now let's add a second noun to the scenario. Das Kind sieht einen Hund. The child sees a dog. We still have our subject in green, but now we have a receiver, the dog. Whenever a sentence involves a subject acting upon a receiver, that receiver must be flagged. The accusative case does exactly this, marking the object so the relationship between the two entities is completely clear. When beginners hear they have to start changing words to match a new case, they often worry they'll have to memorize entirely new vocabularies. This chart maps articles across all four noun genders in standard nominative forms. When switching to accusative, the feminine, neuter, and plural rows remain identical. The only transformation is in the masculine row. Der becomes den, and ein becomes einen. Because this transformation is isolated entirely to masculine nouns, you can build accusative sentences using standard nominative articles for about 75% of the language. Let's test this. Schreibt eine E-Mail. Because email is feminine, the article eine doesn't change. Same with a neuter noun. Schreibt ein Buch. The article ein stays original. Now the exception. Sie schaut einen Film. Film is masculine, so ein becomes einen. Let's see if you can apply the rule. If the word for letter, brief, is masculine, how would you fill in this blank? Schreibt blank Brief. The answer is einen. Schreibt einen Brief. Mastering the accusative is purely an exercise in correctly identifying masculine nouns. Once you know the gender of the receiver, the grammatical rules apply themselves. English sentences rely heavily on physical word order to show who performs and receives an action. German relies on its case tags instead, which opens up a mechanical advantage. Look at this baseline structure. Der Mann schreibt einen Brief. Because the blue block is tagged accusative, we can completely invert the sentence without losing meaning. Einen Brief schreibt der Mann. The only rule is the verb, schreibt, must remain locked in the second position. This syntax flexibility allows German speakers to emphasize the object by placing it first, without confusing the listener about who is actually performing the action. Let's combine the masculine exception rule and the inverted syntax rule into a single sentence using the verb finden, to find or to think of something. Den Stift finde ich praktisch. I think the pen is practical. We lead with the masculine object, place our verb in position 2, and follow it with the subject. Try this out for yourself down in the comments by answering this question. Was isst du gern? What do you like to eat? See if you can intentionally use a masculine food noun to practice the transformation rule. Building an accusative sentence always comes down to the same process. Identify the receiver of the action, check if it's masculine, and if it is, apply the change.